In this video, we'll discuss about good cholesterol and bad cholesterol. One of the most important things that I do when I see a patient for the first time is to check their lipid profile, as it gives me insight into how good or bad their overall health is. It also lets me know what kind of a diet the person is consuming. Is it healthy or not that healthy? If you have ever taken a blood cholesterol test, you probably noticed that it gives you several numbers on the test result. These numbers are total cholesterol, LDL cholesterol, HDL cholesterol, and triglycerides. LDL cholesterol is generally referred to as the bad cholesterol, and HDL cholesterol is called good cholesterol. But why is that? And what role does diet play in influencing their levels? Let's talk about that now. When we consume food, the fat that is present in the food gets digested and gets absorbed into our blood. Fats need to be delivered to various parts of our body so that they can be used. But there is a little problem that fats encounter during this process. Fats are mostly hydrophobic, which means that they do not dissolve in water or blood so easily. So, in order to transport these, they need special transport particles. That's where LDL and HDL cholesterol particles come in. These are the substances in our blood that help in transportation of digested fats and cholesterol. So both these particles are extremely important for our survival, but they act slightly differently. LDL cholesterol transports fats and cholesterol from our intestines and liver to various parts of the body, where these fats can be used. Unhealthy diet generally causes an increase in LDL cholesterol. When LDL particles are present in excess, they can be sticky, and they tend to stick to the blood vessel walls and cause fat deposits. These fat deposits have the potential to grow over time and may eventually cause compromise of the blood supply to the heart, which we call a heart attack. Also, LDL particles tend to stay in the blood for a long time. That's why LDL cholesterol is called bad cholesterol. HDL cholesterol, on the other hand, acts like a scavenger. Think of it like vacuum cleaner for our body. What HDL does is that it goes to all the organs in our body and collects the excess cholesterol and transports it back to the liver. This way, it helps to prevent buildup of fat deposits in our blood vessels. And that's why HDL cholesterol is referred to as the good cholesterol. When LDL cholesterol is high, we need HDL cholesterol to be high so that it can protect us from the sticky LDL fat deposits. But if someone has a super healthy diet and their LDL is low, what should their HDL be? This is where a lot of people get confused. When LDL is already low, there is not much to protect against. So we really don't need HDL to be high. Having low LDL and low HDL can be a reflection of the healthy diet. But unfortunately, in my everyday practice, I rarely see LDL being low. And that's why there is such a drive around trying to get our HDL cholesterol up. One way to improve HDL cholesterol is to exercise regularly. When LDL cholesterol is high, it is a risk factor for future heart disease. We need to try to bring it down as much as possible. It should definitely be lower than 100, but ideally around 70 or lower. One of the best ways to do this is to eat a healthy diet. There's more than one way to eat healthy, and we'll discuss 3 important ways we can do that. Number 1, try to get a healthy amount of fiber in your diet. Now you may ask, what's the relationship between fiber and cholesterol? Well, there is a very important connection. Cholesterol is secreted in our gut to help with digestion, and if our diet is deficient in fiber, this cholesterol can be reabsorbed. What fiber does is that it binds to the cholesterol in our digestive juices and gets rid of it, thereby improving our lipid profile. So how can we get healthy fiber in our diet? Start by replacing part of your lunch or dinner with steamed vegetables like broccoli or carrots or any other vegetable that can be steamed. Almost all vegetables have fiber. Fiber is also present in all kinds of fruit. Replace part of what you're eating with steamed vegetables and fresh fruit. Number 2, try to avoid snacking if possible. We are supposed to be eating food 2 to 3 times a day. But most of the time, we are eating 2 to 3 times a day, but snacking pretty much all day. Snack items are usually packaged foods high in saturated fat, and some of them even contain something called trans fat, which are both very bad for our cholesterol levels and our health. You will never realize how much you are snacking until you actively try to avoid snacking. Let me know how that goes. Number 3, just be conscious about what you eat. What I mean by that is to try to learn the nutrient content of food that we normally consume every day. The American Heart Association recommends that no more than 5 to 6% of calories in a day should come from saturated fat. Once we learn about the nutrient content of the foods that we consume, we'll realize that it is very easy for us to consume that amount of saturated fat. And most of us are probably way overdoing it. One example I can give you is that fats that are solid or semi-solid at room temperature, like cheese, butter, ghee, have a lot of saturated fat in them. So if you can cut down on these, it'll be very good for your health and cholesterol levels. There you go, folks. Hopefully you learned something new today. If you haven't had your cholesterol checked recently, get started by doing that first. And depending on how it is, you can start changing your diet gradually for optimal health. Cheers to a healthy life and get your inner selfie right.